Hold on. Let me write this. Seattle PD video talking about running one person leaks. I'm finally going to cover the Libyan and Moroccan disasters, and I'm finally going to do PragerU kids. All clear was already given. Good. It's handled expeditiously. Fuck, why isn't this loading? Oh yeah, this is the Polish blackface situation. Yeah, we'll do that as well. And Mexican UFOs get in now. So I also saw something from an account that I think is like crazy pro Russia about the Ukrainian government, but it looked like it was fake. So I don't know if it's real or not. And I didn't do a deeper dive into it, but they were talking about how they're going to like execute, or they're going to come for Russian propagandists all around the world or something. It seemed like a gray zone ass take. And but the Mexican UFO guy is a known charlatan. That means he's the perfect UFO guy. What UFO guy isn't a known charlatan? The Mexican UFO thing is so hilarious because INT news outlets said Jamie Mausen was a public servant and not the same guy we've been watching on TV rant about aliens for 30 years. I love the Mexican UFO story because it is so unserious, okay? It is so deeply unserious. Like, I don't know how to, like, if you take that shit seriously, I worry about your health, okay? I worry about your mental health. Anyway, I'm blasting off. Let's get started. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay. But then again, fucking AMLO believes in, what do you call it? AMLO believes in, yeah, I got the playlist to Macy's. AMLO believes in like the little wood elves. So I wouldn't put it past them to believe this shit too. Okay. Don't fuck with Mexican folklore. I agree. I am the chupacabra. Okay. It's not a UFO story. It's an alien story. Maybe they drove an identifiable object like a Toyota Corolla to Earth. True. We don't even know if it was an unidentified flying object because it is an unidentified laying object. 55% of women call Joe Rogan a red flag. Yeah, no shit. Oh, I can't wait to go through this. I just nutted. I fucking love this. I love this. I love this. I wish the PA killer killed Fethullah Gulen. What the fuck? That's so funny. Yeah, he was just in the woods and then he found himself in the Poconos. 55% of women also called communism a red flag. I don't give a fuck. It stems from the word of mouth spread just from your female guest pool. True. The Republican conservative quiet code. Should we start off with that one instead of getting into Pennsylvania killer shit first? This was really funny. I saw this TikTok. I think this is the one I'm thinking of. It's a lady who's like, we have a quiet code for conservatives on dating apps.
Watch something together.
So I don't know if liberals realize that Republicans
are
constantly speaking to each other in code out in public. Leave little clues for each other that only we will pick up on so we can identify each other out in the wild. I call this the quiet code.
All right, so there it is. The quiet code.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because the quiet code is just like really silly shit. It's not quiet. It's basically, you know what it's like? It's like seeing a fucking Twitter account with a goddamn Greek statue in the avatar. You already know you're going to see some stupid ass shit, okay? That's not quiet at all. Like, human beings, maybe not as good as monkeys, are very good at picking up on certain stimuli and assuming the worst, okay? We're very good at that. We start associating certain imagery or certain symbols with bad, okay? It's pattern recognition. And conservatives, because how stupid they are, think that it's think that pattern recognition is somehow a way that they are sneakily showing that they are conservative to other conservatives. And it's not sneaky at all. It's like seeing the quiet code is like seeing someone with an NFT avatar, or seeing someone on Twitter with a blue check mark, or seeing someone on Twitter with a Greek statue avatar, or the classic Anime PFPs. Exactly. The pedophile, 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 person of color, person of color. This needs new updating though, because there's like a lot of rad libs, for example, that are also anime fans, like young queer teenagers who love or young rad lib POC anime fans that also will take, like, in my experience is what I've seen, they'll take like an anime character that is oftentimes black. I don't know what, like, or brown. I don't know what the characters are. Or sometimes they will make the character black or brown. And if I click on their profile, I know I'm going to read some crazy shit. Not like, obviously not pedophile shit, but like a lot of Radlib anime fans are out there with insane takes. Like some of the most wild takes. Always talking about age gaps. Always talking about age gaps, like nonstop. They're like, if someone is like 1 year younger than their partner, this is, sexual assault. This is violence being committed. And it's like, you're 14. What the fuck do you know about anything on the planet? Please stop. Regardless. All right, so let's get back to the quiet code.
Now strap in and get ready, because it is about to get absolutely hog wild up in here.
What are some examples of this quiet code? First and foremost, if a guy has moderate as his political views in a dating app, then ladies, he is a keeper because he is most likely a Republican. If a guy drives any kind of pickup.
It's so funny. It's like, dude, men are such what's happening? Conservatives are such pussies. Like, just say you're conservative, dog. Like, what are you trying to slip that in? Like, why are you trying to go on a date with someone that you know is going to despise your horrifying worldviews? Okay? Like, what the fuck? Just say you're conservative. Which is also ironic because, like, again, this lady is talking about, like, the quiet code or whatever, but, like, everybody already knows that. You see a fucking American flag in someone's profile, you know that motherfucker is a conservative. You see that little God emoji or the little cross emoji that people put, I know. If I see a Bible verse on a motherfucker's Instagram account, I know I'm about to see some wild shit, okay? Why are you putting a Bible verse on your Instagram profile? Like, why are you putting a little fucking Latin cross emoji on your fucking Instagram profile? It's literally, Instagram is the devil. Okay? It is literally the furthest away you can be from being godlike. Why are you in these circles? Okay? The fuck are you doing? It's like being Muslim and then going to a fucking bar right after you go to the pig butcher shop. What the fuck? It's the opposite. It's a circle of hell, okay? It's Dante's Inferno, first level. Why are you there? It's not for you. Don't put this motherfucking cross on your Instagram description and act like you're here to do godly shit. Okay? You're not here to do godly shit.
Up truck, or if his love language is sending tweets, especially if his username is something like user12437. That is legacy from the pre-Elon days when we were all afraid to like anything.
I'm gonna let her keep talking because she keeps going and it just it keeps being so good. It just keeps being so good. But I have to say something. I have to let you know that she's being serious. There are a lot of people in the comments of that video that are like, this is satire, right? This has to be satire. But y'all, I really don't think that it is.
Fellas, if your man's Twitter profile is user127589, you're not dating a man, you're dating a crypto bot. Okay? You're dating a bot that was created by possibly a man to shill crypto under every Elon Musk post. Just letting you know, just cluing you in on this so you don't make a mistake. It's not an accident that the man that you're talking to keeps telling you about his apes. Okay? He does not have a Jane Goodall style interest in monkeys and apes. He is talking about crypto apes. He's trying to sell you apes. All my apes gone is what he is going to say to you after he sells it to you. Okay, let's keep going.
I think that she... I think she's being I think she's being serious.
If they're ever wearing anything from Orvis or Bass Pro Shop, if they have the All In Pod or Joe Rogan as recently played in their Spotify, if they watched Yellowstone or are into grilling.
Like,
the people are so sad, man.
So I don't know if liberals.
Yeah, here,
realize
let's
that
just watch the
Republicans
full
are
one.
Constantly speaking to each other in code up on quiet code. I mean, there is a whole happening around them, like when they see people walking through brick walls and train stations. What are
Oh God! Oh God! Everyone's a libtard. Everyone is so fucking libtarded, dude. Look, Harry Potter references.
Actually, don't pick up on. It's kind of like the Muggles in Harry Potter when they just don't notice all the magic happening around them. Like
It's like, she's not doing a bit, man. She's not doing a bit. This account is called non-libtake. Okay? She's not doing a bit. She's like this stupid, okay?
when they see people walking through brick walls and train stations. What are some examples of this quiet code? First and foremost, if a guy has moderate as his political views in a dating app, then ladies, he is a keeper because he is most likely a Republican. There are other subtle indications that you are politically simpatico. If a guy drives any kind of pickup truck, or if his love language.
Yo, they're unironically going through their like 2014 era, SJW era. Conservatives are unironically going through that right now online because neoliberalism has the capacity to just like suck everything under this monoculture understanding of the world. And it's like, obviously neoliberalism is also inherently right-wing when it comes to economic policy, but like on the social front, conservatives are basically also turning into liberals. Like, this is the exact same type of energy as like, oh, these are my red flags in guys, and making a video like that. This is the type of shit that conservatives used to make fun of, okay? This is the type of stuff that conservatives used to make fun of while they were always this person, right? It's really, really funny and really interesting to me, at least, that they have gone full circle. Like, this is indecipherable. If you didn't understand the cultural the cultural signifiers that she's pointing to, you would think that this is a Pod Save America listener, okay? You would think that this is literally someone who's like, I love Jon Favreau. I want him so bad. Not the actor, writer. I'm talking Jon Favreau, the brilliant Obama speechwriter. Okay? Obama John. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, damn, you're going to rip that and not even read my comment? It's not that nobody notices. Like, when you try to make eye contact with the homeless dude pissing and shitting himself on the corner. What? Oh, this is big Pod Save America energy? Good shit, chatter. So, yeah, she is Pod John sexual, exactly. Actually, I'm more of a Tommy Vitor gal. Anyway, so it's kind of funny to be like this, to be like this kind of person. It's like, it's giving, I'm leaving for Canada if Joe Biden gets elected energy. You know what I mean? I thought this was the type of stuff that you guys made fun of. They've become that person. The language they use, the aesthetics, the overarching sense of like wanting to protect yourself, looking for a safe space. All of this is just liberalism.
Language is sending tweets, especially if his username is something like user12437. That is legacy from the pre-Elon days when we were all afraid to like anything or risk getting locked out of our accounts. If they're ever wearing anything from Orvis or Bass Pro Shop, if they have the All In Pod or Joe Rogan as recently played in their Spotify, if they watched Yellowstone or are into grilling, if they have a sudden newfound favor of Bill Maher, like in the last 2 years, if they stop at Buc-ee's on road trips, if they
This is like an incredibly specific person. Okay? She's basically talking about like the last guys that she's dated in Austin, Texas or something that is like supposed to be a liberal area, but like kind of still has some conservatives. You know what I mean? It's just so odd. It's like person who is, she's describing a person who is like mostly in a liberal, predominantly liberal area. definitely has like even liberal tendencies in certain respects, but is like still very much a conservative. That's what she's talking about. Because I don't think conservatives that live in predominantly conservative areas are trying to desperately hide their conservatism. You know what I mean? I don't think they are. I think that they are openly saying that they're fucking conservative. They write "Let's go Brandon" on their fucking dating apps or whatever the fuck.
Have books or ever reference Jordan Peterson or David Goggins. And if they have any kind of American flag on their
look, Megaphonics' dad. Liking Bill Maher suddenly in the last 2 years is such a conservative thing. My dad likes him now too. Exactly. Megaphonics' dad is a lib, okay? A conservative lib. It's very obvious. Like, this isn't like a rugged, I bleed red, brother, red, white, and blue type conservative. We're talking about like a dude who probably lives in a very liberal area, who still has the reliable 2 million Republican voters in the state of California that live in one of the metropolitan areas. I'm not talking Bakersfield. I'm not talking outside of San Diego. I'm talking like people that are otherwise lib coded. Okay, Orange County conservatives.
Clothes or on their car. But that one's just a dead giveaway at this point.
Anyway, why did I look at this? Well, the reason why I looked at it is because it's great content. I love dumbasses like this. I don't really care about the reaction too much, but here, let's look at the red and green flags in dating for young Americans. Let's start off with that. So USA Polling did this research where they surveyed 1,033 registered voters aged 18 to 34 in the U.S. between August 25th and September 1st. Okay? Now, I just want to mention something. This is not a good poll. Okay? Not going to be a good poll. One, it's not going to be a good poll because... well, they polled voters. Who the fuck between the ages of 18 to 34 is like voting? If there's anything that people between the age of 18 and 35 like doing, it's not voting. Okay? They're beating your ass in the streets if you're voting. Okay? You're a goddamn nerd. It's like people in this community. So, red flags in a partner. Do you consider each of the following behavior traits a green, beige, or a red flag in a partner? 76% of women said identifying as a MAGA Republican. 59% of men said they identify as a MAGA Republican as a red flag. They have no hobbies, 66%. They say all lives matter. 60% of women said that is a red flag. They say there are only two genders. 58% of women said that that is a red flag. They are so unbothered. They never ask for details. They identify as a communist is at 55%. Right next to they listen to Joe Rogan. And right next to they identify as a conservative. Okay? So communism is a red flag. Well, technically, communism is the red flag. So, remember that. Also, men versus women, 64% of men said identifying as a communist is a red flag. So, ladies, there you go. That's your parachute. That's your exit ramp. That's your ripcord that you can pull out. If a date is going really poorly, you should be like, I'm a communist, by the way, and I think that we should overthrow the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie and implement a dictatorship of the proletariat. Okay? They refused to see the Barbie movie. 53% of women said that that's a red flag. That's so funny. 50% of women said that they don't care about politics as a red flag. 29% of men said that that's a red flag. Men probably think that's a green flag, let's be real. They own a gun, 27%. They watch reality dating shows, 26%. They talk about politics frequently, 23%. They're into astrology, 20%. They identify as a liberal, 19%. For men, it's pretty much the opposite in many instances. Okay? They're into astrology for men is like 41%. Men hate communism the most, it seems, from this list. They hate communism more than they hate not having hobbies, more than they hate not identifying as a MAGA Republican. They hate that like the absolute most. They fucking hate it. They're like, communism, no thanks for me. Not for me, no thanks. Do not touch that. Okay? They're into astrology is at 41% as a red flag for men, which is pretty funny. They identify as a liberal is at 33% as a red flag for men. God damn, men are trash. Holy fuck, dude. Jesus Christ, this is so... They take candid pictures of you, 9%. They're not on social media. They have too many hobbies. They send green texts. They prefer cow milk over non-dairy milk, blah, blah, blah. They read. They look better in person. Now, let's look at the green flags in a partner, okay? Green flags for both, 95% say they read. First of all, this is bullshit, okay? Absolutely zero motherfuckers are reading. Get the hell out of here. Who is reading? Ain't nobody is out there reading. I'm sorry, you will never convince me that these people are reading, okay? No shot. No fucking shot. And also, what kind of books? Because a lot of people that read, unfortunately, are reading the worst books, okay? Rich Dad, Poor Dad shit, you know? How to Win Friends and Influence People. You know, self-help style books. Okay? Straight up. Straight up. So, I don't know what they mean by this, okay? Researching the best deals and rates before buying, 88% say green flag. That kind of makes sense. I would agree because that's like everyone's broke. You know what I mean? Our material conditions are not great, especially in this generation. They say Black Lives Matter is a green flag for 60% of women. 38% of men say it's a green flag. What the fuck is going on with men on this poll specifically? Absolutely, what the fuck? It's like, what is happening? Just women are liberal and men are just like insanely conservative? Is that what it is? Holy shit, men are trash, dude. They look better in person as a green flag for 51%, for 63% of men. They take candid pictures of you as a green flag. They identify as a liberal. Green flag for 39% of women. They are not on social media. They say there are only two genders. 46% of men see that as a green flag. What the fuck? Men are just like, I want my partner to be transphobic, racist, but not a MAGA Republican because that's a red flag for some reason. But I want my partner to just have really fucking awful dog shit points of view. Not a communist. Oh, fuck no. But not even a MAGA Republican. Okay? How gross. Men want to date men? Yeah. Pretty gay. Dudes, turns out, just want to fuck dudes. Okay? They are young men who vote. Of course, they're a college conservative, which is anti-MAGA. I guess you're right. Got to hit that sweet spot. What if only men voted and only women, only non-white voters? Oh, 538 did this like really cool concept. If only women voted, Democrats would get 275 districts. If only men voted, Republicans would win 249 districts. If only college-educated people voted, wow, that's actually that's more surprising than I thought. 233 projected Democrat districts. If only women voted. If only people of color voted. If only women voted. If only men voted. If only white people voted. Oh, God. I don't know if this is real. I don't know how they run these. The reason I didn't break down the POC vote in the various groups by gender, ethnicity, or education level is that no matter how I broke it down, it was always 100% blue. College-educated whites voting. This changed, by the way. It's really interesting. This is an old thing. This is an old poll, but like, I think this would look a little different now with Joe Brandon. I would like to see what this would look like. But if all white men, if only white men voted, 45 dishes. What the fuck? 45 electoral college votes. That's nuts. That's actually fucking nuts. Real question. We couldn't even take California Dems as white men. Yeah. Go back to 538. Is not a thing that I thought you would ever say. Go back to 538 is such a strange thing to say in this chat. It's like thinking you're not going to see an ad at the top of the hour or sometimes half an hour into the top of the hour because it's only been an hour just now without subscribing. Which the reality is, you know, you have to subscribe for $5 or for free in order to no longer see those ads. Sorry, that's just how it works. At the top of the hour, there is a Cab Calloway. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. At the top of the hour, there is a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free, or by getting gifted a sub by the likes of Cab Calloway. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Okay. Oh, yeah. Getting a Hasanabi subscription. Green flag. Watching ads at the top of the hour, red flag. Anonymous, thank you for the 5 gifted. Son Lorden, thank you for the 5 gifted as well. This has all been very depressing. I mean, we're just having fun, man. You shouldn't read too much into this. This is like a silly poll. Okay? They say all lives matter being a green flag at 32% for men is pretty wild to me. But yeah, I guess they read is men's biggest green flag. They look better in person, and researching best deals and rates before buying is like a huge one for both men and women. I don't understand. Yeah, it's odd to me. And then the two genders owning a gun, saying all lives matter, and preferring cow milk over any non-dairy milk. Why is this a point of contention? I love cow milk. I've consumed it my whole life. But I also love the non-dairy substitutes as well. It's very odd to think that this is important. The way being able to digest dairy is seen as a green flag is just bizarre. Yeah. What's happening there? Like what? Men are like, hey, sorry, if you're lactose intolerant, well, that's a red flag for me. It's not going to work. Literally just culture war aesthetics. Yeah, it's very, very, very stupid. Speaking of very stupid, Poland. This guy in Poland went on national television, okay, and chose to do the unthinkable. Okay, this brave Polish man did blackface on television. He looks like if Kendrick Lamar did artificial intelligence to look like The Weeknd. Like it looks like, you know how in the last Kendrick music video he has like different faces. Also, blackface technology has improved dramatically. I must admit. It's kind of wild. It is kind of wild that on the one hand, Poland is still operating with technology from like the 18th century, but this is the one area where they have clearly excelled. Because you guys know we are familiar with blackface, Emmy award-winning blackface, as a matter of fact, from the show that we watched, Black White. Unfortunately, it was taken down by woke culture and those who just could not stand its brilliant and bold revolutionary message. Okay. However, this is blackface technology has gone above and beyond. Okay, especially in Poland. 8,240 people like this shit. What the? Yeah. So what's up? Does he lip sync every word in the lyrics or what? I mean, at that point, if you're doing fucking full body blackface, I'm pretty sure you're saying the N-word, chatter. Doing blackface is kind of like saying the N-word on your face. You know what I mean? So, you know he said it. I don't think he held back. Because why would he? It doesn't seem like he held back on the blackface part. Oh, there's more?
This white Polish game show contestant is singing in blackface and using the N-word, and it's causing a lot of backlash. Poland's version of the talent show Your Face Sounds Familiar frequently features celebrity contestants in blackface, impersonating Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and other notable black entertainers.
Oh, God. Oh! Why does he look like that fucking episode in Atlanta? Oh! Okay, guys. I take back what I said about Polish blackface technology, because a lot of this blackface is really bad in comparison to this one, okay? That's crazy. Starfield NPC.
Lamar, Drake, and other notable black entertainers. In that same episode, an actress darkened her skin and performed Beyonce's If I Were a Boy. Under the show's format, celebrities...
Okay, see, like, what's happening, ladies? Like, you didn't go to distance at all. You just put Tanner on. Yeah, I don't know how this turned into a blackface review stream, but like, this is crazy. This is like offensive. It's almost more offensive that you were just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go a couple shades. You know what I mean?
A boy. Under the show's format, celebrities are randomly assigned a song to perform regardless of gender or ethnicity. The celebrity then uses costumes and makeup to make themselves look like the original artist. So, this isn't the first time the show has faced backlash over blackface. After one white actor performed Stronger by Kanye West in blackface in 2021, the show posted a statement saying it was very surprised.
This is shocking. Okay, I'm back again. I'm back in again. What is happening? How is Poland doing this? That's really good. How are they doing that? That deserves an Emmy. Like, that's like Step Aside, Black White, Emmy award-winning blackface from the hit TV show Black White. Like, that one is actually good. What the fuck? What is happening?
By the backlash, arguing that the whole point of the show is for each star to recreate the original performance in the most precise manner while honoring the original artists. In 2021, the Czech version of the show banned its contestants from using blackface, noting that times are changing. Not everyone agreed with the change. One Czech actress said in 2020 that not changing the contestant's skin color was more insulting to the original performer as it hides part of their identity. Blackface dates back to at least...
Dude, that's sick. Dude, that's awesome. They're like, we're doing blackface because it's the woke thing to do. That's pretty fire. That is like, dude, not only are they doing revolutionary levels of blackface, but they're also, bro, Polshevi is insane. Look at what the show's still being made over there. Warsaw doesn't even have a shore. Wait, what is it shoring on? Like, is it just like a lake? It's just a river? Like, they're woke scolding the critics. They're Uno reverse carding the racism allegations. Yeah, it's so sick. Dude, God, they're doing wonderful things in Europe, okay? They're doing so many cool things in Europe. What the fuck? They're having so much fun. By the way, this is the average enjoyer / participant of shows like this literally turns around and in this chat will come in and be like, dog, this black-white stuff is so crazy to me because, like, here in my country, we have no racism. And then it's like, this is what they're popping off with.
The 1800s. The question is, when will it end? And by the way, the celeb impersonating Kendrick Lamar went on to win the show.
But like, I get why. You know what I mean? I kind of get why. Because I saw some of the other versions of blackface, and then I saw his, and like, he went the distance. Didn't you say racism hits different in Europe? Yes, I did. And this is kind of what I meant. How come I never see black people doing this? What do you mean? Like, black people doing blackface? Drake is, I think, as far as I know, one of the few people that I've ever seen do blackface as a black person. If you mean whiteface, it's not the same. There's no minstrel for white people that was utilized as a way to reinforce stereotypes that kept white people oppressed and subjugated by systemic discrimination. And even then, like, anytime there's like any kind of whiteface that happens in popular culture, is like mostly in jest, and for that reason, there is no historical reference point that you can point back to that you're trying to bring back. You know what I mean? Like Dave Chappelle is an example I can think of. White Chicks. White Chicks is the song of the South for white people. White Chicks oppresses white people to this day. Yeah. Really fucked up. Donald Glover did it. Also, whiteface technology is so bad. Like, whiteface technology literally is just like putting powder on your face. Like, it is so insanely bad. Like, even White Chicks, right? Like, a whole ass movie was unfortunately held back by a tremendous lack of development in the whiteface technology. I feel like white people purposely held that shit back. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not even kidding. Because, like, think about it. You got Sammy Sosa. You got people who are, like, trying to do permanent whiteface, and they can't even do it. Like, you can't even do it. You can't. And I feel like white people made sure that was, like, unable to. They made sure to not allow people to do whiteface technology. Yeah, they purposely crippled whiteface technology, and those are the results. You know what I mean? Korea has insane whiteface tech. No, but again, that's like already white. It's like a different, it's like whiteface technology only works if you're already kind of white, like kind of pale. You know what I mean? They killed Michael Jackson for his leaps. Oh my God. Okay, we're moving away. This entrepreneur account is a good rabbit hole too, by the way. Yeah, I love this shit.
The line at Starbucks going out the door, and all the way in the back, Genghis Khan. Can't picture it, can you? That's because Genghis Khan doesn't wait in lines. Neither do I. Only difference, Genghis Khan uses violence, and I fake disabilities. Either way, no one's ever man enough to check.
Dude, I love this. Okay. This is so funny because, like, whenever I see shit like this, they're too well done. Sometimes I can't tell if it's satire or if it's serious. Obviously, this is satire. But it did, for the first, 8 seconds, I couldn't tell if it was satire or not. Because Sigma Grindset is that fucking stupid. Okay? Huh. Saeed Singh is pretty close to riding that line, but he's pretty funny. He's great. Oh, this one is a great example of that.
5'11" is the straightest height for a man to be. Because once you start getting up there, it's like, what are you looking for up there? You know what is up there? Other dudes. If you're 6 foot, who else is going to be 6 foot? Not women. Dudes. You're looking at other dudes all the time. Why do you need to be so high up? The best height for a man to be is 5.
People got mad at him on Twitter because they thought this was serious. Like, I saw that. I was like, that's it. It's done. It's over. Like, this is so clearly fucking a joke, making fun of people that, say dumb shit like this.
6 foot, boring. 6 foot, I love to give people what they want. 5'11", now you're a trailblazer. You're pushing the boundaries. You're saying fuck the system. It's transgressive. It's subversive. It's dangerous. But once you start going, lower than that, 5'10", 5'9", 5'8", that's when you start getting into female territory. That's when you start getting a little sort of...
How tall are you?
What was I gonna say? By the way, that Nima guy, the titty milk guy, he definitely is satire. I no longer believe that he is serious. At first, I thought it was serious because he would like go up against like Pearl, the girly pearly things or whatever the fuck, and would say like unhinged shit about how he like wants to suckle on his mother's teat and how he wants to like kill his mom or whatever. But I don't think it's I don't think it's real anymore because this video proved to me that it's satire.
My boyfriend.
He unfortunately is he is satire, but like bad satire. No, he's not bad satire. I think this is actually kind of funny. Look at this. Look.
Is that the Jews didn't invent the dinosaurs.
Think about it.
I am.
You heard of one of the best directors in the world, Steven Spielberg?
Spielberg.
Yes.
He invented Jurassic Park.
Yep.
See the connection?
He is one of the most powerful Jewish people in the world.
Yeah, that guy, this is not real. I think Pearl's more leftist than any of us. Does all that dumb shit as a psyop to make the right look bad. No, there's no fucking shot that these guys are being serious. You can tell that they're joking. And it made me realize that like, maybe he was always... bana yapma şu anda yaptın zannettim. Yok saat 3'te. So, satire is not a psyop. Okay, calm down. Anyway, it's hard to comprehend it whenever like these guys also unironically collaborate with some of the people that they're making fun of. You know what I mean? Jurassic Park, more like Jurassic Park. Good one. But where were we? Okay, let me see. Let's look at the docket. There's a lot of agenda items here to go through. Oh, here is another light one. Bill Burr and Dan Soder break down the ongoing strike on the Thursday afternoon, Monday morning podcast on Monday.
What it is the people that are running shit are so fucking greedy that they can't give anybody their fair share. They want to keep all of it. That's why it's like that way. Not because it's a confusing, blah, blah, blah. It isn't. It's the game that's going on in our business right now. They're acting like, there's no money and gaga. You just bought your third fucking mansion. Yeah. They don't want to pay anybody, and it's that disease of every year you got to earn more.
It's Bob Iger going, this is not a good time for the strike. After he signs a contract where he gets $26 million a year.
I've done my job so good that I've decided I'm giving myself a bonus. Back in the day, the mob would skim. Yeah. That's what they're doing. Yeah. But they call it a bonus, and it's totally legal. That True TV guy, that guy gave himself like $150 million.
Hilarious.
That's awesome.
The Practical Joker's making all their money, and then he's like, give me that fucking A-Rod deal.
Bobby Bonilla day.
They're getting all Bobby Bonilla paychecks.
There's 3 people doing that. Fire 2 of them, and now you have to do all 3 of those jobs. Man. I just saved this company money.
So good. God, I love Bill so much. One day, my dream is to one day have Bilbo Baggins on the pod or on the stream, and then he adopts me as his nephew, and then he becomes my god uncle, and then we just live happily ever after. Bill defended RFK. I don't care. Based. I love RFK now. Shut the fuck up. You couldn't keep up with him, little bro. Bill was praising RFK Jr. last weekend. Okay, well, I'm praising RFK Jr. now. Okay, why'd you tell me that? Guess what? Guess what, dude? Turns out RFK, very hot, very cool. Had a lot of great ideas about vaccines, I think. Hassan, you'll have an Ethan moment. I don't think so. To be more like Bill, you need to know more about sports. You will never meet Bill Burr. He will never take you backstage at the Laugh Factory. He will never be on your pod. He will never listen to your top of the hour ad breaks. Fuck. Why do you have to be like that? Like, you not only fucked me up, like you hurt my feelings about something that I truly care about, but then you also stole my ad break, dude. It's fucking bullshit, okay? I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of acting like it's not hurting my feelings, okay? Guess what, dude? If Bill never comes on the show, you don't get to experience me fucking fanboy over him as well. That's like the third day in a row, Son. Are you good? You keep falling for it? I know. I am, because I'm not good. I'm not on my A game, man. I'm not. Fucked up. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Fuck you. One day there's going to be a broadcast that all the ad breaks will be chatter stealing them. No. The A game was all in the beard, you know? Yeah. I shaved the beard and I lost it all. So I covered this fucking Australian freak yesterday, and I guess there's like a longer video that I did not actually watch. Ken Klippenstein posted more of this video from the guy. This is property developer and CEO Tim Gurner. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my view. We need to see the pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for their employer, not the other way around. Did we watch this full thing? I don't know if we watched the whole thing. We might have watched the whole thing. Actually, we did watch the whole thing. I don't want to watch it again because he's such a fucking vile loser and he makes me so angry. Okay? He makes me so incredibly fucking angry. I hate him. I'm just I'm done. I don't want to do that again. Why did he say that, lol? Chatter, for those of you who have, you know what? I'm going to run it again, actually. Fuck it. I'm going to run it back. Hold on here. You want to know why he said that? Because this is just saying the quiet part out loud. Everybody says this, okay? When people are demanding that interest rates go up, okay, when businesses are demanding, some businesses are demanding that interest rates must go up, this is their ultimate goal. They want to do this. They want to make the public suffer a little bit. Now, obviously, interest rates are not the best example of this. It's a long way to go there. But the entire goal is to ensure that unemployment is high enough that a tight labor market is avoided so that workers have no negotiation. Workers have no leverage to negotiate. Now, in the United States of America, we have had tight labor markets, okay? Except in America, labor protections are so gutted and so eviscerated that even in tight labor markets, the leverage that the labor force is supposed to have does not yield the actual results that it should, that you think it would on a fucking econ textbook. Okay? So understand that. Now, let's see what he had to say, and then I will tell you why this is exactly the same as like everyone else's opinion. Every capital owner has this exact same point of view.
I think the problem that we've had is that we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. You know, tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. You know, they have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, and we need to see.
I just want to point out something. The guy that's saying tradies, which is the Australian word for like construction workers, okay, that wear those little skin-tight short shorts that are supposed to be like very scary, oftentimes conservative guys, even though they have the gayest name possible and also look like they would be in a porno, okay? The tradesmen of Australia are getting paid a lot to do not a lot of work. That's what he said. Brother, Australian mega mind. You're a fucking real estate developer. You get paid a lot for not doing any work. The fuck are you saying, mate? You don't do any fucking labor. What kind of fucking labor are you doing, mate? You're doing nothing. Your entire fucking life is one big smoko. You sick cunt. You fucking stupid bastard.
That change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic
Did you just call tradies conservative? What in the fuck, my guy? All those guys are in unions and shit. They have the most combative union in the country. Yeah, I was talking about like socially speaking. Yes, they are in unions, but they are, as far as I understand, very fucking socially conservative. That doesn't, being in a union, how many times I got to describe this? Being in a fucking union doesn't mean that you are going to be like a woke progressive guy. It doesn't have to be at all. It never has to be. Okay? Unions are not about left or right. It's about what is fair, okay? It's about the bare minimum of getting what is fair. Anyway, and no, the police union is not the same as like tradies being in a union, okay? Police are inherently designed, the policing as an institution is inherently designed to work against the interests of the labor class, the working class, the worker class, the workers, okay? I can't even talk today.
change where employees...
Police aren't workers? No, technically they are. But their entire output, their entire job is to protect and serve the interests of capital. So it's a little different. I'm not defending this D-bag, but he's saying the current official rate is 3.8%, should rise to 50%, should rise 50% to approximately 5.7. If referring to the realistic rate of 6.6, then that would be 9.9, which is still horrific. Someone did the math. I know he's not saying rise the unemployment to 50%. He's saying by 50%. Yes, you're right. And that's still approximately 250,000 jobs, I think. Someone was crunching the numbers yesterday. And it is still 250,000 Australians losing their job.
Feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it, but people are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
Oh, Chomsky was really popping on when he said that everything that the ruling class communicates in private is just Marxism, but with the values reversed. Yeah. And this isn't even in private. This is very much public. Something that I talk about quite frequently is how class conscious the wealthy are. Capital owners are incredibly class conscious, okay? They take it for granted. They're so class conscious, they might not even be aware of it sometimes, but they're always pushing. Even if they're class conscious or not, the system is designed in a way where their interests are represented regardless. But many are profoundly class conscious and completely fucking understand how this process works and what they must do. Okay? There's more.
I think the problem that we've had is that we're definitely lucky to have.
Oh, this is the exact same video. Never mind. There's been systemic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them as opposed to the other way around. We got to kill that attitude. And that has come through hurting the economy. So you might be thinking, what the fuck, Hassan? Why is he saying this? Like, I don't understand. Well, partially because he's in a room full of other capital owners at the Financial Review Property Summit, where he thinks like, this is going to be heard by almost exclusively, people that agree with him. Okay? Never forget, capital owners are organized. Capital owners are absolutely class conscious. They are aware of their class position, and they understand how labor works. They understand how capitalism works, and they have created the infrastructure to continue this system, this organization of the economy. Okay? This is yet another example of that. And if you think that this is just one fucking pompous rich guy who's saying this, make no mistake. People in positions of power are actively working to do this. He's just simply openly stating it, as many others have as well. One example that I can immediately think of is Alan Greenspan. Okay? Alan Greenspan has openly talked about the push to penalize workers. Openly. He said it in Congress. Okay? This wasn't like a secret. He openly stated his desire in Congress. Time and time again. Okay? His wife literally is a CNN anchor. It's not a secret. Whenever Jerome Powell goes on television and speaks about the necessity to continue increasing interest rates, there is a secondary purpose behind it. Okay? There is a secondary purpose behind it, which they also openly mention. They talk about it all the time. It's to ensure that labor does not have any kind of bargaining chip. That's it. Labor markets remain very tight in almost all districts, with increased reports of upwards pressure on wages in many parts of the country, the Fed's latest Beige Book summary of national economic conditions said. Okay? This is being taught in schools. This is being taught as the right thing to do. This is exactly what is described in Das Kapital. Okay? The antagonistic nature. It's the Communist Manifesto. I don't think Hassan's understanding of why interest rates rise is correct. Okay. No, I understand why interest rates are rising. It's more complicated than simply trying to apply pressure onto the labor force. Okay? I get that. I'm not simply talking about interest rates rising. Okay? But the stated purpose of why they are increasing interest rates, if you ask them directly, is so that they can push for unemployment to go up a little bit more, so that the tight labor market, okay, the tight labor market is no longer so tight, and that labor does not have a negotiating chip, a bargaining chip. They have less leverage, okay? Now, the difference is, this is a post-COVID phenomena, because in the United States of America, we have had tight labor markets, and yet, even in tight labor markets where we have like near full employment, okay, we have still never had better leverage and unionization initiatives like we do currently. There are many other ways to combat inflation, okay, but unfortunately, we will never be able to use the legislative branch to do so. The only thing that the American government does on the legislative side, okay, fiscal policy, is measures that actually increase inflation. At a time when corporations had record high profits under the Trump administration year over year, the Trump administration turned around and gave corporations tax cuts. He said, that's it. That's not it. Businesses like low interest rates because it means they can invest, expand with free money, and rich people like it because it leads to inflation of assets for the ownership class. They don't raise interest rates just to make it worse for labor. That's reductive. He acknowledged that after reading my comment, which is good. Yes, it is not the single factor, but again, there's a difference between fiscal policy and monetary policy. In the United States of America, fiscal policy only goes in one direction. Okay, fiscal policy only goes in in the direction of more inflation. Monetary policy is the only tool that the American government thinks it has at its disposal to try to engage in deflationary tactics. This is a long way to try to cool down the economy. Okay, this is a long way to go to try to cool down the economy. Do you understand? One way to try and cool down the economy, or one way to try and combat inflation, would be to trust bust, break up monopolies, break up corporate consolidation, increase taxes on corporations and the wealthy, specifically capital gains taxes and the like. But we don't do that because that is impossible. It's seemingly impossible to do. Okay? There is no appetite for it from our politician class that is there to be servile dogs, or sometimes also a part of the capital owning class themselves, to represent their interests. Okay? There are multiple stakeholders and different parts in a capitalist formation, in a capitalist organization of the economy under a capitalist corporate structure. There are multiple avenues that you can engage in if you want to cut prices or lower them. The only way that Americans think we can lower prices, however, is by shitting on workers, by squeezing workers. There's no other way. It's only by hurting the workplace safety, the regulation that workers have, the protections that workers have, is only by forcing them into more destitute conditions so they have no other option but to go to work and shut the fuck up. Because if they don't do that, they lose their health care. If they don't do that, they lose their opportunity to make money to put food on their tables, to put clothes on their back, to put a roof over their own heads. Okay? That's it. Many people openly state their desire, and in the past were way more open about stating their desire to hurt the working class in an effort to get them to know their place. Shouters hating on you, saying that is not how it works, are talking about how people justify the decisions that are made, but in practice is a vibes-based argument between the people who decide how to pull this lever. You getting a working wage, a living wage for the work that you do, you getting a bigger share of the profits that you generate for capital owners spells trouble for shareholders that are a part of the capital owning class. It spells trouble for the entire economy because the entire economy is built around ensuring that the shareholder interests are represented. Okay? There's a reason billionaires aren't howling like wounded dogs about the Fed constantly raising the rates, even though it's hurting the stock market. They know in the long run it will make them more money to eviscerate worker power by driving up unemployment. Raising corporate tax rates would help. Punishing stock buybacks and rewards and rewards capital expenditures, which will reduce the need for government subsidies given to corporations. I need to emphasize that economics is not a science and just a vibes-based field. 100%, it is a vibes-based field. If anything, Marx tried to shift the needle in the direction of a hard science with the labor theory, the labor value theory, but unfortunately, that is seen as astrology or astronomy. Is it the right one? I keep fucking it up. It's seen as magic. It's seen as alchemy. It's seen as magic in the way that neoclassical economists identify it. The rich will start crying when the market plummets 30% and the real estate markets collapse. Get your puts, boys and girls. Labor isn't budging. Yeah, I don't think that is correct. Elon has complained constantly about interest rates being high. Yes, because only one sector is being harmed by interest rates being high. Well, there's many different sectors that are being harmed by it, the financial sector being one. But obviously, VC-backed or Silicon Valley tech-based industry is mostly designed around having quantitative easing measures that constantly fucking open up more It makes it literally free, or it makes it so that there's always an endless supply of money feeding the speculative side of the economy. And a lot of these companies aren't actually measured by their output. They're not measured by their productive capabilities. They're not measured by the market fundamentals that everybody loves to fucking talk about. They're actually simply measured on vibes and how much money can constantly get fed into the system. So, yes, there are plenty of Silicon Valley guys who are losing their minds over it because their entire industry relies on it. So, Take is all about taking big losses until the IPO goes live, then their prices increases. Airbnb is a prime example. It was cheaper and easier than hotels, and now I'd save way more just using hotels for travel. Yeah. Well, Take is all about taking big losses until the IPO goes live and capturing as much market share as possible to be the first in market so that you can monopolize a specific sector that you have sold as a disruptive new way, when that disruption is just disrupting regulations and slapping a tech sticker on your company, and then doing everything in your fucking power to slowly but surely increase the pain on the labor side while simultaneously raising prices through both hidden, invisible fees and also very visible ones as well. There is not a single fucking genuine, honest to God, capitalist corporation out there that actually likes competition. Every single corporation is rushing to try to monopolize whichever sector they're in. That's their whole goal. Because if they do that, then they can raise the prices. And what are you going to do? You can't go anywhere else. Okay? And if they don't do that, then they engage in so much consolidation in that specific sector and engage in what is known as price leadership, not price fixing, mind you, that this functional oligopoly is able to operate in unison, even if they're not doing it in a cigar smoke-filled, shadowy back room, okay? In the way that people can only comprehend how cartels or monopolies operate. Another way that people work is through regulatory capture. Capitalist corporations will use any and every tool at their disposal in a system that is designed to constantly increase shareholder value. Okay? But it's never enough because profit rates fall inevitably. As we improve our productive forces, as things get cheaper to manufacture, okay? Ultimately, your profit vectors dry up. So what do? Well, you look to cost-saving measures. Technological improvements are some of those cost-saving measures because the goal is to maintain profit rates as they inevitably decline. Maintain the profit rates as high as you possibly can for your shareholders, the people that you actually care about, the people that you have a fiduciary responsibility for. Okay? In that circumstance, you can either squeeze the labor side as best as you can, okay, forcing them into worse and worse conditions and comparatively lower wages and benefits packages, okay? Or if you have monopolized, if you have already monopolized or have a functional oligopoly in a certain industry, you can simply raise prices slowly but surely. Amazon is doing that in e-commerce as we speak on the delivery front, but also on the commerce side as well. What are you going to do? There is no competition. Okay? We are seeing everything you're talking about happen with this Unity game engine. On Tuesday, they announced that each install of a Unity game would charge developer 20 cents every time the game was installed after 200,000 downloads, regardless of how long the game has been out. Yeah. Here's a great way to tie this back to gaming.
We might no longer be able to play some of our favorite games based on a decision made by game development platform Unity. Unity has been used to make some of the world's biggest games, including Cult of the Lamb, Among Us, and Fall Guys. They'll be charging developers every time a game is installed after a game has made $200,000 and reached 200,000 installs. With Unity games on Game Pass, Unity says that indie developers won't be affected because the distributor will be charged for those games, like Microsoft. This could still hurt indie developers, as Microsoft might be less willing to take risks on smaller games. Mike Blackney, developer of Dead Static Drive, explains the problem well. Make a game. Game is freemium. Game makes 200k from in-app purchases after being installed 3 million times. Now owe Unity 20 cents per 2.8 million installs, 560k. That's 360k more than we made. The developers of Among Us are saying they'll have to delay content and features players actually want to port their game elsewhere, and that many developers won't have the time or means to do the same. Cult of the Lamb tweeted, "Buy Cult of the Lamb now because we'll be deleting it on Gen 1st. Joel, programmer and writer at the studio that made Dredge, tweeted, "With Unity's fee per install, free demos skew towards becoming a liability. This absolutely sucks. What the Unity?"
I love this because it's like indie games were the one area where developers could express their creativity without being burdened by the same like shareholder value hangups that you would have in a massive corporation under the umbrella of a massive company. Okay? And now I suspect, I don't know what changed internally with Unity, but I assume they got bought out or some shit, okay? Developers spoke throughout the day of delaying their games to switch to rival Epic Games on Unreal Engine or other services on X, platform formerly known as Twitter. But by the evening, Unity exec Mark Whitten was updating Axios on the policies, potentially diffusing some concerns raised by game creators. The new runtime fee announced Tuesday morning is tied to a player's installations of a game, an action that previously didn't cost developers anything. Unity's CEO used to be EA CEO. He previously posited charging gamers to reload mid-game. Nah, the CEO's been terrible for a while now, just even more with this. Yeah, Unity is also the developer engine. It's the easiest one to use. They didn't get bought out. Their CEO's just a sociopath. That's fucking awesome. Unity CEO John Riccitiello was EA CEO when FIFA 09 launched loot boxes. Fucking great, dude. That is great. I have to literally port my entire project to a new engine now. 2 to 3 years worth of progress. Unity's already getting pounded by the Unreal Engine 5, which made the development more accessible to new indie devs. This will absolutely kill Unity. Unity CEO calls mobile devs who don't prioritize monetization fucking idiots. John Riccitiello didn't mince words when it came to developers who might not utilize Unity's new suite of ad tech. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is good. Nothing will ever be the same. If there is any kind of art that you appreciate, it will inevitably get captured by these vile, vulturous, capitalist parasites who will try to squeeze value out of every orifice. Okay? Profit is what is important. Unity announced yesterday, amid layoffs, by the way, that it will merge with ad tech firm IronSource. Among other things, this partnership will give developers who use the engine more ways to monetize and rise above the noise, according to the Unity general manager, Mark Whitten. At this point in the conversation, PocketGamer.biz characterizes focus on monetization as receiving pushback for some creatives, giving Riccitiello a chance to sound off. It's not enough that you're just, it's not enough if you charge people to use your service because we need to put DLCs in every aspect of commodity production. This, by the way, is also entering other commodities as well. The John Deere style of not giving you full ownership of the product that you're purchasing at the price point that they've declared is not just a concept exclusive to that field anymore, okay? It's happening with Mercedes-Benz. It's happening with Tesla. It's happening with BMWs, where you have to pay additional subscription fees to fucking heat your goddamn seats. Okay? And it's going to keep happening. Hidden fees are a perfect way for them to squeeze out more profits. Was looking at Unity's financial reports, and they nearly doubled their revenue 2023 Q2 from 2022 Q2. And by double, I mean Q2 2023, they almost made $600 million. And then they laid off. Well, I mean, they probably did that because they engaged in layoffs too. Connor Eats Pants sends, No More Heroes 3 is the only video game that lets you beat the ever-living dog shit out of the current CEO of Unity in a Smash Bros. Style boss fight approved by Nintendo, and it was made in the Unreal Engine 2. Tap in. The main antagonist of Travis Strikes Back, the VM portion of TSA, who also shows up in the new No More Heroes 3 trailer, is Damon Ricciello. The second name, Ricciello, is interesting as the CEO in charge of EA while GHM were developing SOTD. It was called John Ricciello. That's so sick.
I don't want to die! 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 I don't want to die!
I've still got somewhere to go home to. But you don't!
I don't want to die! I don't want to die!
They know what they were doing. The former CEO sold stock. Unity bosses sold stock ahead of the scummy dev fees announcement. There's nothing you can do about this. There's nothing you can do about this. Employees always lose out on situations like this. They have no control. They have no protections. The only thing that you would have, the only tool that a worker has at his disposal in a situation like this, if you feel powerless in the face of this kind of corporate consolidation, in the face of this kind of parasitic activity from capital owners, is labor power in the form of collective bargaining that you can only express through the process of unionization. Okay? That's it. That's literally it. That's all you can do. Okay? If you are unionized, if all sectors were adequately unionized, you could at least push back on these mass layoffs. You could at least push back on decisions like this. You would have a stay. You would have a say in the process. You would have a stake in the company. Okay? That's it. There's nothing else you can do. Did you see the Unity response to the backlash? Unity says, we are listening. Upon reflection, we realized we should have sought more input from our community and value partners before implementing such a significant change. We fell short in this aspect, and for that, we're genuinely sorry. We've always prided ourselves in our transparent and symbiotic relationship we have with our user base. Unity's success story is intrinsically linked to the achievements of our growth of our developers. Effective immediately, we will be taking a 50% revenue split from our games and investing it directly in AI technology you love. We also might buy another adware company. Okay, this is a joke. God damn it. Fuck you. We also might buy another adware company or launch a third SRP. Shut the fuck up and take it. That's a joke. I don't know why I took it seriously at first. It had me in the first half, not gonna lie. It was written so perfectly, like a genuine corporate PR apology, and then yeah. Jeff Keighley called them out. The GOAT. Unity rushes to clarify price increase plan as game developers fume. This is the actual walkback, but
Unity have said fees will not be charged for installations of game demos unless the demo is part of a download that includes the full game or an upgrade to the full game. Early access games will still be charged for an installation. This means developers are less likely to do things like early access. Jacob Janerko, who's making the Dungeon experience, tweeted, "Our game on release will now only be playable in my house with cash payment, and he is offering complimentary tea and a firm handshake. But don't worry guys, the Unity fee doesn't apply to gambling."
Thank God. That's great, man. That's great. Developers paying over $2,000 a year for Unity Pro plan would have to hit higher thresholds and will be charged with lower fees. The new fee system will begin in the start of 2024. They haven't even walked it back yet. It's still hog shit. There's a breakdown of the update from an affected dev. Here, let's watch the MAGA Mail video on this. Because apparently our fave, he made a video on it called "This Company is Scamming Game Devs." MAGA Mail looking more MAGA than ever, by the way, with his fucking haircut.
I know it looks bad. I'm gonna shave it. The only reason I haven't shaved it yet is because I have a pimple underneath. It's a genius strategy I came up with. It's a pimple-blocking mustache.
I'm going to pee. I'll be back.
Let's talk about what we're here to talk about today, which is some huge gaming drama. And for once, it's not on the esports side of things, which is going horribly per usual. But it's about the much more interesting side of gaming, the side that makes money, game development. And there's one company in particular seeing all the money be made, and they want a little piece of it. And that company is Unity, who tweeted out today that they made a change to their business model, which includes new additions to our subscription plans and the introduction of a runtime fee. To which I read this morning and thought to myself, what the hell's a runtime fee? And moved on with my day until I saw the claws come out from Jeff Keighley, who dropped a "what a joke" period in response. This is a scathing response from a normally well-mannered man. So I thought to myself, what's going on? Why is the social media manager copy and pasting the phrase fraud detection? It seems like we've got a mystery on our hands, Scoobs. And so we have to start at the beginning. What is Unity? And to clear that up, well, it is a game engine. It's a place where you make video games, and different developers use it to make games that you recognize, like Fall Guys or Cuphead or Hollow Knight or any of the games on this list, which are all amazing games. Okay, how does Unity make money? Or how did Unity make most of their money? Well, through a subscription service. You basically sign up monthly or yearly. There's different plans for an enterprise or an individual. There's even a free plan, and that's kind of how you get hooked. And they even increased the price of their plan last year almost to the day, September 13th, 2022. So they were trying to make a little bit more money. But recently, as they tweeted out, they want to make money in a new way. And this new way is the runtime fee. And in it, they say, as many of you know, the Unity engine is in fact two substantial software components, the Unity editor and the Unity runtime. Unity runtime is code that executes on player devices and makes made with Unity games work at scale with billions of monthly downloads. So basically, anytime you buy a game and then you go to install the game, you're also installing the Unity runtime. And this is the end of where I will explain what it is. Just know that you use it every time you use a Unity game, and you need to be using it. And Unity also needs to be updating it so it works with different computers and OSs and whatever the hell. Okay? And I'm not going to try to explain any further because I'm dumb and you're going to make fun of me in the comments. It's what's going to happen. Let's make it simple. Every time you play a Unity game, you must run the runtime software. Unity has to keep developing this software to work on every single PC or console or whatever, so they're hoping to make a little extra money. They're also a corporation, so of course they want to make extra money. And how are they trying to get it? By charging developers per install. Now, there's some additional rules and caveats like thresholds of who they're actually trying to target, which is usually larger developers, and how much they're willing to take, which scales lower and lower the bigger your game is. But at its core, that's the big shift, which is a huge shift because they went from a subscription-based model where there's a flat fee the developers knows they're going to pay to a scalable model where now big games are going to have to pay a lot more money. And it doesn't even have to be that big to start paying a huge chunk. Here's an example from...
You know what's really funny about this, by the way? They always... This is something I've noticed from my own personal experience talking to CEOs in different sectors, is that they literally try to claim that this is like a progressive tax, okay? When it's like, that's not how commodity production works, okay? Like, no, you're just adding additional fees. This is an entirely separate planet than taxation. Okay?
Unity's website directly. I don't even have to make up the numbers. They did it for us. In this example, we have a game that made $2 million in the past year and had 5 million installs, which surpasses both thresholds. If they were to have 200,000 installs from standard fee countries and 100,000 installs from emerging market fee countries, they would owe $23,500 in just 1 month. If that keeps going for a year, they would owe $282,000 or 14% of this $2 million revenue number that they posted, which is insane. 14% of all of the money you make is high. It is much higher than a company like Unreal Engine, a competitor who charges a 5% license fee and does a revenue share system. And it doesn't just impact big devs. It also impacts some smaller indie creators, like one you might recognize, Danny, who tweeted out a meme here, because obviously no fees are retroactive. Oh shit, I guess I owe Unity $5.6 million because he made Muck and Crab Game, which were huge games, 28 million downloads. And he used the Unity personal pricing, which was 20 cents per install. But even if you use the Unity enterprise pricing, that would still be like $280,000 owed. And again, to be clear, this does not charge a developer who hasn't made at least $1 million with their game, but it does set some scary precedents. Specifically, this meme. Unity is making this real. Pirate game. Delete it and download it again 9 more times. Company loses $600. Is this becoming true now? Can there be campaigns to reinstall games?
Unity wanted to count web visits as an installation. Are you serious? Install definition. The installation and initialization of a game or app on an end user's device, as well as distribution via streaming or web browser, is considered an install. Games or apps with substantially similar content may be counted as one project, with installs then aggregated to calculate the Unity runtime free. No shot. Yes, because Unity also works on browsers. Elwig is wrong. At least yesterday, they stated the fee is retroactive for the last 4 years. That's insane. They're going to like try and fucking claw back fees as well from like indie developers. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any... Oh, God. This video has a lot of misinformation. Fees are not applied retroactively on old installs. Old games are affected, but only new installs after 2024. Unity stock since yesterday's glorious announcement of charging developers per install of their game starting 2024. Yeah, except... Guess what? Unity bosses sold stock ahead of the scummy dev fees announcement. So they're fine. You know what I mean? They're better off than the people that will inevitably get laid off. They're better off than the fucking indie developers that will no longer be able to use that. Ah, fuck. Lol, they changed it over the day, turning a big dial that says business school on it and constantly looking back at the audience for approval like a contestant on a Price is Right. This has to make gamers more communist? No, it won't. Dude, this has been happening. Gamers hate EA. And they don't understand why they hate EA. So then they yell about pronouns. Do you understand? This has not changed. In my lifetime, this industry has ballooned into one that is larger than the movie industry and the music industry combined. And yet, gamers do not have the mental fortitude to comprehend that this is just pure extraction, okay? It's extortion. It's capital owners, ruining their experience and the art that they enjoy and consume, okay? They hate microtransactions. They hate DLCs. They hate all this shit, and they don't even fucking understand the major reasons as to why this is happening. And then they end up becoming more and more reactionary as they fucking fling towards dumbass shit like fucking pronouns. Stop current daying us. It's corporate greed through and through. It is no different than the original story I was talking about, which led me into this coverage anyway, which is that Americans, not even just gamers, right? Just most people living in this fucking country look at that guy, the Tim Gurner guy, and go, fuck that piece of shit. That guy is evil. While they simultaneously refuse to comprehend. They have this like inability to understand that what that guy is saying is no different than what the government is doing and is no different than what every other capital owner is interested in doing to you. Okay? This is class consciousness, and America is devoid of it. A big part of what I try to do is explain that to people and instill that among people, and for that I have, of course, been shitted on and fucking vilified endlessly as they point to like some made-up hypocrisy that they have in their minds about me and my financial success, being like, oh, Hassan, you're fucking rich, shut the fuck up. People are conditioned to not understand who's the one that's fucking them. People are also conditioned into taking that anger that they feel because they recognize that they're getting fucked, but they don't know who's doing the fucking because everybody lies about who's doing the fucking. And so they're angry, and that anger needs to be directed in a certain direction. So who do you direct that anger to? People that are just like worse off than you in some way, while simultaneously telling you that that person that's worse off than you in some ways is actually better off than you. You see this in politics every fucking day. Every day you see this. I'll go to the Reconstruction. Okay, the period of Reconstruction, that was a failed project. Made to fail. In the immediate aftermath of the abolition, there was a short period in time where white working class individuals and newly freed slaves, who were now a part of the black working class, started recognizing that they were actually united on their class interests. They were both working for wages, and they wanted to increase those wages. In order to break this unification, capital owners, both in the South and also in the North, realized that the absolute best strategy here was to keep dividing the working class on racial boundaries. At least I'm not black was the motto of the Southerner, who recognized that he was also getting shafted by the same bosses in many instances, but turned around and bullied those who had even less than him, bullied those who disrupted the previous social hierarchy by simply existing. This way, even if you were getting absolutely fucked over by your bosses as a white working class individual, you still had someone to look down at. A black person. Offer some social amenities, offer like aesthetic and sometimes meaningful advantages by putting forward additional hurdles and disadvantages to the newly freed slaves, and you have a secondary hierarchy and another permanent underclass that basically became legal, a legalized form of slavery in the form of the 13th Amendment. It was not simply to abolish slavery, but instead to place legalized slavery under the auspices of the criminal justice system, because slavery is still legal in America, as long as someone is in prison. That's it.
Damn, this guy's good.